Hello and welcome back to the TFL3, and as you all know, we have made plenty of videos talking about trains that we don't like.
However, there might just be one train that out-trumps all of them. The Class 143 Pacer.
You mean the one behind you?
What?
Wait, what?
Well, guess we're getting on that then. Let's go. Before we get on, I figure we should provide a bit of background. The classes 141, 142, 143 and 144, collectively known as the Pacer trains, were introduced in 1984. These trains were built using old Leyland bus bodies and were designed to be inexpensive to build. They were needed in order to cover a temporary shortage of rolling stock and were only meant to last about 20 years. Unfortunately, there's nothing more permanent than a temporary solution, so they ended up lasting almost double that time, with the final Pacer being withdrawn in 2021. Safe to say, these trains were incredibly unpopular with passengers for their entire lifespan, with many complaining about their ride quality, uncomfortable seats and unreliability. They were also seen as a symbol of regional inequality and a lack of infrastructure investment across the north and west of the UK. Despite their reputation, however, many have ended up in preservation, such as on heritage railways. In fact, that's exactly what we're riding today, with this Pacer being on the Nene Valley Railway in Peterborough. Anyway, back to us at Peterborough.
Okay, so just to provide some context, we are doing this at the Nene Valley Railway in Peterborough, where they have kindly preserved this ex-TFW example. We'll be getting on that in a second to head to Wansford. But this little station here at Peterborough, which, fun fact, only opened in 1983, has got some pretty cool stuff, like there's an HST power car over there, some old Mark III coaches, the old Birmingham maglev train, and the old hover train thing.
Yeah.
That's all very nice, but anyway.
Let's get on.
Let's get on.
There we go. Interesting seats here. Not the worst, to be fair.
Well, it's not the bus-style seats that these trains have.
This is an ex-TFW unit that used to run on the South Wales Metro lines.
The Valley lines, wasn't
yes.
it?
And this came out of service, I think, November 21, I think?
Well, it's got a new journey starts today or something logo on the side. So I think it's like a farewell livery on the side. So this must have been one of the last Pacers to retire, and it's in. But other than that, it's in ACW livery with ACW seats. And to show actually when it retired, it's got reminders of COVID on there.
These Pacer trains that TFW, well, Aviva Trains Wales had, were one of the worst Pacer trains in the whole country because they were just leaking.
And also South Wales. I mean, I've not been around that network, but it was quite a busy system of lines heading in and out of Cardiff and Swansea, and there was just bad overcrowding on the system, which is why they're upgrading it right now. But yeah, from first experience, this is interesting to say the least. Garage.
Alrighty. Wait, we do actually have toilets on here. We can move into the other carriage. There's the infamous bus-style doors.
You can see the HST out there.
Yep, there's the
You can
HST.
see the GWR car.
Yep. Yeah, same seats as the other carriage. I'll take my seat now.
Welcome aboard. Please listen to the following announcement for your safety. Emergency door opening procedures are indicated close to the doors. And when you leave the train, please mind the gap between the train and the platform and take care as you alight. Thank you.
Of course, the one thing that everyone knows about these Pacer trains is that they are old Leyland buses that were converted into rail cars as a temporary measure in the 1980s. And they are known for having probably the worst ride in the entire country. Well, we've just left Peterborough, and all I can say, as both Daniel and I are riding a Pacer for the first time. Jack here has ridden them before because he's from West Yorkshire, so he's used to them in a way.
Do you fancy sharing the comparison that you gave us at Peterborough Station?
So, this is 8 and 9 years ago, and this is ironically probably the last time I went on a Pacer. This was, for context, February, so it's winter, absolutely freezing cold, and I swear to God it was colder on the Pacer than it was outside.
There you go.
Yeah. You said that the ride quality was comparable to the Bakerloo line.
So we're barely 2 minutes out of Peterborough, and this is already, as you can tell by the camera shaking, very, very bouncy. You can feel, I don't know if the track, it's got to be jointed because it's heritage, but it's ridiculous.
Love the fact that there is a trolley service on this Pacer. Very much first class travel, I must say.
So something bizarre I have spotted with these Pacer trains is, of course, I'll talk about the doors in a second, but here in this carriage, there's doors on this side, but not on this side. And then if we move into the other carriage, because it's a 2-car diesel multiple, there is a toilet here, but there's doors here. There's no doors on either side. So we're here arriving at the first station along the line. There is, I've noticed, a bit of a slightly longer ramp, which is quite funny, but one thing that I'll always remember from seeing videos of these trains is the fun fold-back doors.
There we go.
So as explained earlier in the video, this Pacer specifically is a Class 143, which means it's slightly different from the Class 142, where a lot of them had those bus-style narrow back seats that were, well, narrow back, they're short back, and they very much look like a bus. This actually has these seats, which are semi-common on some trains across the country. You see them, in fact, I remember the most bus-like train I went on, the 155 in York, had these seats. But yeah, it's a Pacer. What do you guys think?
It's certainly one of the Pacers of all time.
Still exactly how I remembered it.
Yep, we've got Northerner over here who remembers them to join us Southerners.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
So we are going very slowly, but it's just because we're on a heritage line, so heritage line can only go so fast. So, TFL3 Classic, blue review. Can't get it, never mind. Never mind, ignore me. Free Wi-Fi. Well, at least we have that. I'll see if I can connect to it. Probably not though. Ready? Any luck? No. Opening the window. That's not very much, but it does open. The windows do indeed open.
So a couple fun facts about the Nene Valley Railway, which is the railway we're on right now that this Pacer is operating in. It's a heritage line and it's an extension of the line that goes from Ely to Peterborough. On this line, 2 James Bond films were shot and a Queen music video. I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, I can't not talk and it not being so bumpy. I'm sorry, the camera's not stabilized, but it's so bumpy. I'm pressing my hand against the seat and yeah, pretty bumpy. While we stand in the vestibule of this not air-sealed train, we can literally feel the wind like blowing in through the bus doors. We are now approaching the Nene Valley Railway's final stop, which is Wansford. And well, we were going to be going back, but the thing is, on the day we're filming this, the East Coast Main Line decided to have a bit of a meltdown, so we had to get this, which is the last train of the day. So we're going to go back by other means.
Okay, so quick context. Daniel and Hugh were meant to be at Peterborough at 12. Having taken Grand Central from London at around 11. However, the entire main line was closed due to a fatality at Stevenage, which meant our train got stuck at Welland North. In fact, Dylan was meant to be in this video, but he'd gone his own way and due to all the delays, he wasn't able to feature. The only person who made it on time to Peterborough was Jack, because he was coming from the north, but he had to wait for the rest of us before we could all go shoot. All this meant that our original plan had to be thrown out the window, and we had quite a lot of stress figuring out a new one, so if this video has been a little bit less polished than usual, that'll be why. Enjoy your Pacer reunion?
Yeah. It's probably controversial to say that maybe the capacity. Rideable motor, the 150s are still far better than this.
Yeah. Hot take, but yeah, understandable. Alrighty, here we are at Wansford. Here's the Transport for Wales logo and the start of a new journey. So basically, this was the livery it had upon its farewell.
A bit unsure whether this was actually the last pacer to ever run, because it has the, you know, the goodbye livery on it in English and Welsh.
It could be one of the last.
Could be one. It definitely could be one of the last, because the last TOC they ran with was TFW. I know it's about to leave. Let's see it leave.
This is a nice railway, to be honest. They've got the original Thomas the Tank Engine and a whole bunch of other lovely stuff. And we just happened to go on the very worst train. It has been a tough day, to be honest. The East Coast mainline disruptions meant our plan kind of didn't work the way it was meant to. But I have enjoyed my day out on the Pacers. But would I want them back in mainline service? No.
And neither would I, especially as both of us, we're both Londoners who had never ridden a Pacer before. And I got to say, from my first experience riding a Pacer, is it bad? Yes. Is it truly the worst ever train that's run in Britain? Quite possibly, though I'm not going to say a definite yes or a definite no.
Yeah.
And Jack, as someone who rode them when they were in their, I don't want to say heyday, because they were never in a heyday up in the north.
Twilight of needing to go, but there were no other attraction to go to replace it.
So,
I will say really need to stay off the main line and non-heritage lines. They are not fit for purpose, they are horrible, and I just feel traumatised just coming here. So
sorry for dragging you down here.
And we brought you down here, and we came up from London to literally ride a bus on rails.
So I think that about wraps up our day at the Nene Valley Railway. Thank you to Jack, subscribe to his YouTube channel. And yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Big thanks to our supporters as always. Their names will be listed at the end of the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Hang on. You need to go more heritage railways and ride more Google DMUs to truly get a feel of how bad the North is.
Oh no!